he's lost his wife, he's lost his mum, and then I've popped along, and actually we've ended up happy at the end of it, which is all we could have ever dreamed of, really. I met my husband, Rio Ferdinand, in 2017, and from then on have kind of been, the spokesman for stepmums and blended families, I would say.
So what was your first experience of your now new children, and tell us about like the first formative tiptoeing that you had to do around the situation, which is so it's fragile anyway because they lost their mum.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a lifetime ago, I've got to be honest. It was about 6 years ago now. And it was a difficult time because we were all finding our feet. They've been through so much. This lady from Towie comes in, probably younger than Dad. And it was difficult at the beginning. I can't think of a specific kind of moment that was really difficult, but just in general, just getting to know each other.
Were you nervous?
So nervous the day I met them. So nervous.
And was it a countdown to that day happening?
I kind of met them as a friend.
Right.
And I had my dog, and they love dogs. So
right.
the dog was a little bit of an icebreaker.
So get a dog.
Yeah.
First of all, get a dog, everyone. Anyhow, I mean, we love dogs, but here's another reason. Yeah, another reason to get a dog.
The dog was an icebreaker, and it was all fun at the beginning. We were going out doing fun activities. I think it became a little bit more difficult when we actually moved in together.
So okay, let's just backtrack a little bit. So how old were they when you first met?
6, 8 and 10.
Right, okay. Any particular softer landing with any of the kids rather than,
To be honest, the kids were all lovely and amazing, and they were all nice.
Right. Which is testament to their mum and dad.
100%. They're very well managed kids and lovely. Maybe it was easier to bond with Tia at the beginning because she really loved the dog.
Right.
And Ronnie was my little pawn that I brought in, and that was easier, I suppose.
Right. So your first date as Rio's partner. What did you do on that first date?
Officially?
Yes.
I think Rio asked me to be his girlfriend in the cafe in Bromley. We're eating a fry-up with the kids.
Nice.
So
in front of the kids?
Yes, they were all part of it. So
that's cool.
That's a really big part of our journeys, that the kids from the beginning have been really involved. So they all kind of knew that he was going to ask me to be his girlfriend. Very romantic setting, having a fry-up in the local cafe. And they're all part of it, but that's what it's been like from the beginning, I suppose.
It's very clever, isn't it? Because it's all about this non-confrontational strategy, which is, the dog, the breakfast, the gang show, as opposed to, lights out, spotlight goes on. You don't need that, do you?
Just take it easy. I would say my advice would be for anyone coming into a blended family, because it is difficult, just involve the children as much as possible so that they feel a part of it.
And you also talk about, like at Christmas time, having the named stockings. And obviously, Cree calls you Mummy, and the kids sometimes would call you Mummy, sometimes call you Kate, and you just wanted to have this one identity. And you didn't want to be a different person to Cree than you are to Tia and the others. And so you got it all embroidered, and yours is Mummy Kate. And then when they write you birthday cards, it can be one card because it can say to Mummy Kate, and all 4 kids can sign it. I thought that was a great sort of bringing together of those different identities for you.
Yeah, I love Mummy Kate, and that's something I was so worried about, thinking, I don't want to stress the children out by being mummy. There's so much to think about, so much dynamics, but kids do adapt, and they've been amazing. And for us, it's about keeping the children as one. So Mummy Kate works for all of us, really. But Cree calls me Mummy Kate and Kate sometimes. He can be very cheeky. We all know it. I'm not their real mum. But they're really respectful of me. And it is hard, don't get me wrong. Teenagers they are now. They don't listen to you.
Anyway.
They don't listen anyway. But I think sometimes I can mistake them just being their general teenagers that don't listen with, oh my God, is it me? Oh, is it because I'm their stepmum? And every now and then I just have to sit back and say, they are teenagers and this is what teenagers do. But you can be a little bit more sensitive, or I definitely am, coming in as a step parent. I like with Cree, he's only 2. I don't overthink everything as much as I do with my stepkids. I just kind of want to get it perfect.
Yeah. And I suppose Cree coming into the mix, you involve the kids, your blended family in the whole process again from the off, to do with the name as well, and just tell us a bit about that sort of that helpfulness.
Yeah, I was really nervous about having my first biological child because I was worried about the dynamic, how it would affect everyone.
Yeah, and having a kid anyway.
And I'm pregnant again, so I'm
Congratulations!
nervous. I'm nervous again. Thanks, guys. But Tia bought his first outfit that he wore home from the hospital, and we all chose the name, kind of. There was a list, and we kind of knew what we wanted.
Crazy. Can we just ask about Cree?
Cree. Like, it's so random, and everyone's like, what's the meaning? We just like the name.
Where does it come from?
But it has got a lovely meaning now.
Right.
It's Gaelic,
Right.
and it means my heart.
Have you heard of the name Cree?
Yeah, it means
Does it
heart.
mean that?
Yeah, it's an Irish word.
I didn't think it was Irish because it's spelt like it sounds.
I think
it's
there's another way to spell it.
Of course there is.
Yeah. Which includes a lot of vowels.
And some H's probably.
Yeah.
Many silent H's and maybe an N. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so they're just getting them involved, honestly. And looking at them with their little brother, it brings me so much happiness. I think anyone in this situation, you get a little bit nervous and you think, is everyone going to get on? Are we going to be seen as a family? And watching their bond is just so special.
So bonding at different stages of development, I suppose, once the acceptance has happened, and it seems like it truly has, and you can never take it for granted, but then you can never take any relationship with children and parents for granted anyway, can you then move on and can you have a more sort of traditional, can you tick that box of becoming a stepmom?
I think for me,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for all step parents, but my family is so accepting. They love me. It's nothing to do with them. I always will feel a little bit worried and a little bit of a struggle, and I don't think the box
Responsible.
Yeah, I don't think the box is ever fully ticked.
Right,
I
that's
think
interesting.
there's moments where it's just us six and it's perfect and amazing, but if you're not having the best day, or it might be around an anniversary or a birthday, or even you're just not feeling great and someone makes a comment, sometimes if you're not in the right headspace, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't feel like the box
Yeah.
is ticked. But
Yeah.
I think that's
No.
kind of the same with everything in life, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get in the right headspace. You've got
Yeah.
to do yourself a favour, haven't you, in the day? And you've got to give yourself the best chance, I think, at the beginning of every day. Let's talk about Rio for a bit and his sort of role in all this. Just reflect on his journey.
Oh, it's been a hell of a journey, I suppose. When I look back now at what he's been through and the kids have been through and how far we've come, it's kind of all we could have ever wished for. Being in a happy family and waking up and our children are happy most days. He's lost his wife, he's lost his mum, and then I've popped along, and actually we've ended up happy at the end of it, which is all we could have ever dreamed of, really.
Yeah.